Opponent did in fact refer to one credible study as evidence for her argument. As I mentioned before, she also used as one of her main sources of support an article found under the opinions section of her website. This article was the foundation behind my opponent's initial attack against my proposition. Her two main points of attack were simply that my proposal would fail and that its failure would flood the alternatives market and prevent other possible proposals from actually working to fix the obesity problems that our society faces. Those points were taken from an opinion-based article and supported by no studies. I do not think my opponent should refer to the thoughts and possibly biased opinions of a random person as evidence based on comprehensive studies. Also, I'd like to restate the lack of citation of one of my opponent's pieces of evidence. The study, which she referred to various times and was supposedly funded by the National Institute of Health and the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, should be disregarded and act as strong reason to reject my opponent's ideas. There is no way to verify the validity or even the existence of the evidence that my opponent took from that study, which she referred to as the second study in her opposition constructive argument. Additionally, I would like to point out that I wasn't suggesting that we cannot trust community members. I simply stated that based on the information found within the one credible study cited by my opponent, it is the community members that are already not being supportive towards proposals that aim to improve the health of society, which suggests that they are not willing to be a part of the village that it takes to raise a child, so we cannot depend on them. Lastly, I never said, as my opponent stated, that the singular action of a ban is enough to combat the health issues that my proposition is trying to eliminate. I simply believe that it is a constructive step towards health improvements and that it is a much more concrete attempt than saying that communities should come together for the education of children when it is evident that that same community is not willing to help, as children on a daily basis are able to do what they want and acquire anything they want unless they are told no strictly by their parents. Based on the invalidity of one of her main sources of support, the incomplete knowledge of information found within her valid and cited article, the lack of citation of a study used as supporting evidence, and the overall inconsistency of my opponent's argument, I believe her ideas should be rejected.